I can hear you. I started recording again. I don't know, girl. I'm not about to do all this splicing and editing and all this shit. I don't got time for that. But we just might have two videos up at the same time, like as a continuation. So where we left off was about the 7 year age gap with men and relationships and your opinion on
Right.
how you feel that works out.
So first of all, I don't believe whatever you read or seen or whatever. I don't believe that. I don't think that it has anything to do with that. Now we at this big old age, which is nobody's business how big it is. But at this big old age, I can say that I have learned and seen men of all ages, and it is. I think it is not true that just because you are older, you are more mature and you can give a
Mm,
woman what they need. I feel like what I've experienced, my thought process is the longer you go being single, the more foolish you are. So when you 50 and 60 years old and you out here, sagging with your Jordan jumpsuit on and your matching tools or whatever they is, I don't want nothing to do with that, right? Because I can have more grace for somebody who's 30, 25, 26, who's, just entering into manhood, right? And needs to learn something than somebody that done lived and should know everything and act like they don't know nothing. So that is
ooh, tell
that's
me
my
about it.
opinion, because I think the older that they are, especially if they out here single, they be real silly. I mean, real silly,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
there's not much maturity in them at all. In my
Well,
opinion, that's been
yeah.
my experience.
And like it's men have midlife crises too, shit. And like women, we go through different hormonal things and menopause and shit like that. But they too also have midlife crisis where they want to feel desired and wanted and go after some young girls or
And that's
try to be some
absolutely true.
players.
Yes, that's absolutely true. But at the end of the day, when you are older, you should be able to clearly communicate what it is
Clear.
that you're going through and what it is that you're looking for, what space you're in life. Like there should be no gray area as you get older. The older you get, the more eloquent you should be able to define who you are, because you've had lived experiences, right, that give you the upper hand on what we consider the young folks, and I think we escaped what I consider the asinine generation. My kids and younger, there's something wrong with these children, but we will talk about that, I'm sure, on another episode.
Something
But
wrong.
I disagree that if you're looking for a mature man, it's a 7 year rule on that. I don't see it like that, because I think the older you are, especially when you're single, I'll say it again, it'd be too much tomfoolery.
Mhm.
And that's just been my
I
experience. And
agree.
yes, and then another thing comes into it, the intimate part of it, whether you want to
Mm.
admit it or not. The older you get, the less your libido go. Libido
Your
gone.
stamina, your
And it's
everything.
a real thing, you know what I mean? And we don't talk about that enough in our community, but it's real. And if you can't bring it, then you really should be acting right. And you can't be acting no fool if you ain't booking good. Like, I'm just saying.
Bookie.
Child,
Okay. Did
child,
y'all just
booking,
say
child,
bookie?
booking, child, booking.
No, I agree. And I've dated somebody that's 10 years younger than me, and he was great. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's like shit, you be out and you be like, well, first of all, I'm not looking my age. So It's just
Right.
like, sometimes you have to be secure in yourself with who you're dating and, where you're at. But he was very mature for his age,
Mm-hmm.
and his
Yeah.
stage. And he gave me the princess treatment. The
Yeah.
queen bee that I am, I deserve that. Shit, we all do. And it's like you
Right.
treat me good, I treat you better.
Yep.
That's I wholeheartedly believe in that. But it's
Absolutely.
just so much. It's just so much trauma. Again,
It
with
is.
the love bombing, the breadcrumbing, the lies, the mental anguish. That people have to go through in order to get to. It's like
Yes, but
you weed and seed and go through all these steps to find somebody and to have somebody. And it's like the percentage nowadays of people 40 and up being unmarried is the highest that it's ever been. And,
mm-hmm.
back to where I started in the beginning, because you have women in this mindset like, shit, I'm just going to be single because I'm tired. I'm tired of
Right.
dealing with, the backstabbing, the hurt, the pain. And I think my biggest thing is with men and how they navigate and how they move is the ghosting. The ghosting thing.
I've
Like how
never
you
been
just
ghosted. I've never been
you
ghosted. So,
haven't.
no,
Well,
child, I have not. And maybe I mean, I think again, those lived experiences kind of
mhm.
shapes your mindset toward things. And I haven't. I've never been ghosted, but it just popped into my head to say to give up on a loving relationship, even after the age of 40. To me, is giving up on yourself because we are created to be with
With
someone, right? To
someone.
have that intimacy, to have that fellowship with someone. So to give up on that, which would in my mind is giving up on life and giving up on yourself. But yeah, I mean, I hear all types of tragic stories about relationships gone wrong. And it's sad what these people be out here doing. And it ain't just men, women be doing it too. And a lot of
Yeah,
times, what we
for
don't
sure.
really speak about is the reason why the men act like this is because these women is trifling. I mean, let's
Mm,
just say, call a spade a spade. Let's just say what it is. These
mhm.
women do not be holding it down. They dirty. They don't want to cook. They look. They don't want to work.
Dirty.
They want you to everything you got. They won't. While they you know booking 3 and 4 different men. Like it makes no sense. If you want a virtuous man, you have to be a virtuous woman, and that's hard to find these days as well. I mean, yes, there are a few good women, a few of us left, right, that happen to be
Mhm.
single, but they are truly diamond in the roughs, and they ain't easy to find. It's easy to find. It's easier to find a chicken head scallywag than it is a good woman. And
Period.
by the time he get to the diamond, he done dealt with so many chicken heads. He don't
He
know
don't
what to
know how to
do.
treat. Yeah, he don't know what
Child,
to do.
girl, he
Yeah,
is jacked up. Okay, he
yeah.
traumatized by her and her kids, her mama, her aunties, and all of them. Just done sent the poor man through the ringer, honey. He don't know what to do. He don't know if he coming or going.
Broken.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly,
Men are
exactly.
men are so men are so broken.
Yes, they
And
are,
because they can't express themselves and
and
like
especially black
release
men,
emotions, yeah, they can't really release emotions like we can. Like
right?
hell,
Because
I'm crying.
they've been taught to not
Mhm,
release. Our black
mhm,
men have been taught that showing your emotions and crying and all of that is a sign of weakness. And if you grow up hearing that, then when you get to these big old ages, there's no way you can have that type of release because you don't know what that is. That is foreign to you, and you might not ever get to a place where you're able to express yourself in those type of ways because you were
mhm.
raised in our communities. You are raised that you don't do that. You don't cry as no man. Like, men don't cry, and that's not true. Men should cry. If they
Good.
don't, they should.
Yeah,
Yes, they
they
should be
should.
crying because there's a whole bunch of shit out here to be crying about.
Woo,
For
you
real.
Honey, that's about the realest shit ever written and spoken because it is a lot of stuff to be crying about.
Absolutely.
And you gotta release you have to release that.
Hmm.
They don't wanna exercise, they don't wanna you have to find an outlet, and it's
Yeah.
not sex. The outlet is not sex. The outlet is
Right.
not going from woman to woman and projecting their
Absolutely.
pain upon woman to woman and hurting women.
Hmm.
And that's where the fucking ghosting comes in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're hurt
Tell me
and
what
you're
ghosting looks like, because
oh my
what is
God.
that? What is
So
that?
ghosting is basically like you're vibing with somebody, you're dating somebody, you could be communicating and talking on a daily basis. And then one day you send that good morning text or you call or whatnot and you nothing comes back. And it's like, okay, at first you're like, okay, well, damn, okay, people have a life, people work and, whatever the case may be, travel, maybe something's going on. But then when
Hmm.
day two and day three and day four and day five comes, you start to get a little worried, like, well, damn, you start to question yourself like what was the last conversation that we had, what happened, what could have triggered, is he mad at me, is it somebody else, I mean, just like all this stuff plays in your
But do you
mind.
know that he's still
And
living? Maybe he ghosted you because he died. I mean, are we thinking
well,
that something happened?
no, the fools still be living and still be on Instagram
So,
or Facebook
oh, okay,
or
okay,
whatever the
okay.
case may be, but they just cut your ass off because maybe they
Without a
are
word.
it's the word ghosting. Yes. Maybe they cut you off because it's something that they are going through. Personal, or it may be that who knows, hell. But
Well,
I Googled it. And so ghosting is the practice of ending a personal relationship with someone by suddenly and without explanation withdrawing from all communication. That's the part right there. Is not providing the explanation. You know what I'm saying? Tell me that you're going through something and you need some space. That's a simple solution and a simple conversation. You don't have to just stop communication abruptly and completely withdraw when we've been talking every day and clearly the feelings and the relationship is progressing in my eyes, but all of a sudden you disappeared and without explanation, so that kind of just leaves a woman feeling like rejected and
well, it should. She should be glad if you get ghosted by somebody. It sounds like you've been
yeah,
given
you
a
dodged the
somebody
bullet.
done gave you. You don't want to be with nobody that is capable of doing something like that. Now we talking, we vibing. You use the word vibing. That means I'm feeling you, you feeling me, and then you could just stop talking to me without explanation for the rest of your life. I don't want to talk to nobody like that. I want you to ghost me. I guess I might have been ghosted and just
But no,
didn't even know it.
it's the feeling of not knowing. I think it's the that's because it's happened to
Not
me.
knowing
So
what? That this is a
it's the
complete
feeling of not
asshole?
knowing, like it's the feeling of not knowing, like damn, when you're trying to assess yourself in relationships, and I feel like you should assess yourself in a relationship. Like, am I being too, overbearing? Am I the boundaries and the this and the that. But it just kind of makes you feel like what went wrong and what could have went differently. Like so that I don't make the same mistake again.
No,
Because
and
it's
I
not
think
a
the problem is you're blaming yourself for the reason for
yeah,
that
and
happening,
it's
and
not
it should not
yourself.
be that.
Yep.
Yeah, that ain't on you. That's
Mhm.
something in that person that did that. Because I
And see, I
you
had to learn that you just said, my sister, the hard way. Because
yeah.
yeah, I did exactly what it is that I said I did. Like, well, damn, like I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm smart. I know a boss. I know that I have this, I have that, I have that, but it's them, not you.
Yeah,
And see,
exactly.
this is teaching somebody somewhere that's gonna hear this podcast and this message. It's not you, it's them. But it is fucked up.
Absolutely.
At the end of the
Child.
day, it's fucked up because at this big age, nigga, tell me you don't want to have no dealing and move on with yourself.
Yeah,
You know, don't
absolutely.
just up and lead me on to something that does no longer exist. So yeah, with that
Yeah,
being
I
said,
guess we could all look at that different because
yeah.
the fact that you're not saying nothing is telling me everything that I need to know. That, and that's
Mhm.
I mean, I didn't even know that that was a thing. I mean, I've heard of ghosting, don't get me wrong, but I never really knew what it was. And I haven't
Mhm.
experienced it, and that's, I guess, the reason why these type of platforms are
Probably
created
because
is
you be
because,
ghosting. You probably do the ghosting. Shit, let me. I know I will walk out, honey, when
I
necessary, but
mean,
this one,
I will bounce if the situation is not
yeah,
conducive to my comfort level. But I will never be disrespectful in my ways, as
that
to
part,
somebody that I'm feeling. You know what I mean?
that part.
If I feel like it, I want to step away, or we moving too fast, or whatever the case may be. I wouldn't be so disrespectful where I wouldn't at least acknowledge them and let them know that. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it's
Mhm.
all about, they must come in a certain type of package, but I guess we can move on from that, child, because
Uh-huh.
that's
See, and
crazy.
this talking through these things and getting through, these steps. Like I've been saying I was gonna do this podcast. It's been a little bit, in the making. And, there's steps, there's timing, there's everything, that comes along with it. But it's therapy to me,
Yes,
to
absolutely.
really talk through this shit because
Yeah,
it's just it's just so much.
yeah, it is.
One
It's
day
so
I
much.
might get to crying on the TV. I don't know. Like, yeah, we got hormones and we go through things and we deal with things, but you just never know what goes on in the minds of men and the mind of
Yes.
women. Like
Yeah,
every day that we go out into the world to work, to this, to that. That's another reason why you need a mate. Who you gonna come home and talk
absolutely.
to about this heifer at work that gave you a microaggression? And nobody else understands that but me and you. And you're here
Right.
to hear me out. Give me some grace and listen to me and just communicate effectively. So yeah, girl, it's so
Hey,
many
man,
layers.
that's
And
true.
so
It is. It is. It
the
is so
last
many
thi-
layers.
the last thing that I wanted to see, this is specific, but you gonna join me a few more times.
Okay,
I receive that, I believe that, I project that, I because
I'm ready
that's my
to.
dog. Yeah,
You're right.
we just vibe on a whole different level. So like
Absolutely.
how the last thing that I wanted to talk about in this session on relationships today is how you feel about like if someone, let's just say a friend, if it's 6 degrees of separation or even if it's 2 degrees of separation, like how do you feel about one of your dating somebody that your friend dated or a homie of one of your exes? Um,
Ooh, child.
that's
That is too much to talk about. I gotta go in Walmart and pick up my medications. I
oh
don't know it.
Lord.
Okay, so let me
We'll
just
just
say,
mhm.
on the surface, it's never okay. right? It is never okay to date one of your friends' exes or for you to date one of your ex's friends. Period.
Mhm.
It's downright disrespectful. I believe that if you end up with my ex, it was because you was looking at her the whole time you knew me and y'all was hanging out. You know, you had it in the back of your mind from the beginning. That's just how I view life. And I say on the surface, um, to stop this from being another 2.5 hour
Mhm.
conversation, child. It is never okay, and it's straight
Yeah,
disrespectful. There is too many people in the world for you to close your
yeah.
circle in like that. You know, like you need to expand your horizons if you feel like you
Sweetie.
need to mess with your homegirl's ex. That because you
Mhm.
not they homegirl. I don't care. Period. Point blank.
No,
Now
no.
I am going to say, because we go way back like four flats, I there is a situation where um I dated somebody that was in your family and my our friend now dates them. That's different,
Mhm.
right? Because we
Mhm.
were kids, right? We were children. It is not the same. I'm talking about at this big old age when we know exactly what we doing, right? And we cohabitating or this my baby daddy or whatever the situation is, right? When we get grown, that is
Yeah,
unacceptable as adults. Now, when you
it is.
kids, when you kids, it's a free for all. Everything is fair game when you under a
Yeah,
certain
shit. I
age.
mean, if I went to prom with somebody, like we don't even know what the hell
What
we
we
were
doing?
or what we
Exactly.
right. Like, okay, but this is
So,
20,
like
30
I
years
said,
later.
there is layers to it. You could be in this conversation for hours and hours. This could be its own separate podcast. But at the end of
Mhm.
the day, yeah, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful for me, as a friend to talk to any of my friends' ex because I'm not being a real
Yeah.
friend, period. And
Mhm.
it's disrespectful for me to talk to any of my exes because they ain't probably doing nothing but passing you around. You know what I mean? Because if his
Mhm.
homeboy feels like he can come to you on that type of level, he probably perceives you as loose any motherfucking way.
Mhm. Yeah. I agree, girl. I agree. Because first of all, like loyalty is everything to me. And so,
Everything.
the one word that I would even use to describe the shit is scandalous. Like
Absolutely.
if we can't go, you got to think about it. This is how I think about it. If we can't go to Thanksgiving, that's how you know that
We
you
don't
know what
need
I'm
to be
saying.
fucking
This
around.
shit ain't this relationship and this shit ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I can't
Absolutely.
show up over here with your baby mama that I used to hang out with, and now I'm with like make it make sense. And
Right.
I have had several of my ex ex dudes way back when. I'm talking 20 years ago. His friends have approached me and even said, I'll go talk to him, because I want you. Like, and I'm still thinking to myself, like, I just still can't do that because how do I show
Absolutely.
up to Juneteenth or Thanksgiving with you and I know I'm gonna run into him? Like, what
Right.
we all gonna just have one big kumbaya hug? And as far as girlfriends, like that, I just cannot because I know that you had an interest in this man and I know that you had feelings for this man.
Hmm.
So me having the feelings that I have for you don't allow for me to cross that line. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I just couldn't and wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
And with that
you
being
not my
said, like,
friend. You not my friend if you willing to fuck my ex. I'm sorry, we not
mm,
friends. With friends like that, who needs enemies? As the old saying goes, I would never be cool with nobody who could cross me out like that. Cause that's exactly what
yeah,
that's doing. That's crossing you out.
mhm,
Like you don't do that. Like especially if you knew that this person meant something to
yeah,
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And see, that's the
Child.
thing. Like, it's just levels to this shit. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay for you not to give a damn about what somebody thinks about your relationship or who you're with or how you navigate through this life. Like that's nobody's business. But at the same time, when you take on that projection as if I don't give a damn, I don't care about nobody, it's all about me. Honey, one thing I do know for sure is that karma will come in the
Child.
relationship, in you, like that man may give you hell because you
Yeah, what
thought he was
comes
so
around goes
fine.
around.
Right. You
Uh-huh.
thought he was
And
so
what
fine, but he was so
and the
shit.
same man that I had is not the one that you gonna get. And that's what we need to be
Yep.
remembering as women. You see this nigga doing this for me and being this for me, and you think he's so great. First of all, you don't know what this nigga do when we at home by ourselves. That's first.
Mhm.
And then second of all, whatever it is and whoever he was with me, he not gonna be that way with you. Cause me and you, we ain't the same.
Yeah. And that's the realest thing. Like you never know what happens. And you said it before. And I'm like, I like that shit. You never know what happens when the door closes into your
Absolutely.
home. Like
Absolutely.
nobody, this person may look a certain way on the outside, or we may project a certain thing on social media in the public, this, that, and the third. But we close that door, honey. You don't know if I'm getting cussed out. You don't know if I'm dealing with
Beat,
somebody
slapped,
calling my
kicked.
phone, snatch, kick. Yeah,
Exactly.
none of the above.
Right.
So
Right. Some
you just
random little
really,
bastard child. You don't know what I'm going through, child. You don't know.
yeah,
You have no idea. It's a facade. I mean, I think the world would be a much better place if we could get back to real. It's too much faking and fronting, too
mhm.
many facades in the world. People, why does everybody want
Well,
to be
and
something that
women
they
do
are
not
not?
respect. Women do not respect women.
No,
And
they don't.
that comes back to the Black excellence. Like we can never be excellent and we can never progress as a people and as whatever if we don't even respect each other. Like woman
Yeah,
to woman, don't be sending stuff in my inbox to my man, and you know what I'm saying? Like why, if you
right.
done been hurt before, why would you do that? Like why would
Exactly.
you even fathom the thought?
Right.
And like you
Cause
said,
you
there's a
hurt and you hurt
yeah.
and you don't care who you hurt. That's hurt people. You also hear that a lot. We and then we always mad that um our men be with these white women and all that, and that's a story for a different day or whatever. But we need to look at ourselves. I don't know nothing about no white girl. I ain't got no friends with them. I don't hang around them. I ain't got no problem with them. I'm not saying that. I'm not being racist, but I've never been close friends with a white girl. So I don't know what they bring to the table. I don't know what our men see in them. The only thing that I can surmise that we've always been told is that they are submissive and that they do whatever, you know, they do whatever the man wants them to do. But I call bullshit
But
on
that's
that because
besides the
that
point,
we do,
right?
but and we black women do the same thing.
Yeah,
The
I
only
promise
thing
you.
we won't do it for is a nigga that's dragging us through the mud, cheating and hoeing out here, don't want to work, and like we ain't gonna submit to anything, and they don't either, because they get the best and the brightest that we have to offer as a people. So I don't know if you a good decent black man. I don't know why you think that a black woman wouldn't do whatever you want to do, because she would go above and beyond for you,
I
and
promise you.
y'all just
I promise
too
you.
stupid to know it.
Hmm It's like you treat me good, I treat you better, nigga, and that's all to
Hmm
it.
I
And
promise you
it
get
was,
all of me,
yeah,
not parts of me, the complete
hmm
whole package. The realness, the 100, the loyalty, the calmness. If you
yeah,
need to vent and talk and get some off your chest, that's what I'm here for. To
mhm,
listen, to rub your back, to let you know that it's gonna be okay, to let you know that we gonna be okay, that I got your back, that I'm
yeah,
working just as hard as you are to make something out of this life. Like it's time out for the bullshit. Ain't nobody got no time to be going through
mm-mm,
a whole bunch of
mm-mm.
bullshit behind no nigga or no female. Like we need to quit that. We need to cut
It's
that out.
power. It's power in twos, and it's power
It
in
is.
unity. You know,
Yes.
those two
Two
things.
is two is
Yep,
greater than one for
two
sure.
and unity. And we have to accept that and receive that. You know, because
Yeah,
it's just too much likeness that, you just dealing with the mundane BS and,
exactly.
just living as we live. And we
And
don't
nobody
have we
wants
don't
to
have
do that. Right. That's
mm-mm.
not living a fulfilled life. You know, the mundane, as you say, day in and day out, same old, same old. That is not living life to its fullest, you know. And if you want to live your best life, mundane is not living your best life. For real. Anyway, child, what
We
other topics we got? Because I need to go in here and pick up
no,
my
we getting
prescription.
ready to get we just met our we just met our cue to you were just sitting in the parking lot waiting on the
Child,
see that's
I,
what's gonna separate us from everything, honey, because we doing this via phone. And whoever else we gotta call, honey, we gonna batch them in
next time,
three way.
next time we go
'Cause
three way. Next time we go
yeah,
three way.
for sure, because I got somebody to talk about these white women and the dating and the monstrosity behind that. Because what Killer Mike just said, like, there's nothing like a black woman and a black man.
Right.
The white girl ain't gonna understand your problem. You got pulled over
Uh-uh.
by the police and a gun to your head. What's she gonna say?
And she
You
gonna
want me to
call you
call my dad?
a nigger when she get mad. Not a nigga, a nigger.
Somebody. I tell that to all the guys that I know that have dated, are dating, or want to date somebody of the opposite race, even black women. Somebody in that
Mm-hmm.
family done called you a nigga, is gonna call you a nigga,
Not
an
a
auntie,
nigga.
uncle. Yeah,
Let's make sure that we are clear. Not a
mhm,
nigga, a nigger, a
girl.
nigger.
Yes.
ER, not OR, ER. You a ER nigger, not a OR nigga. For real.
Yep. Yep. I promise you,
It's so
girl. Well,
sad.
I will let you get on with your day. I thank you so much for your time. I
I
love you,
have
child.
enjoyed this, honey. Me too, Chad. You know
It's on and cracking. You understand me?
I
Cause we done got it started. Like I said, ain't no edits, ain't no scrubbing for me.
please,
This is
you
real
gonna
and
have to
raw.
scrub some of it. You gonna have to, child. Please.
I don't be having time for that now. Listen, but
You just gonna
okay,
put us
yes.
bare ass out in the world on the
Um,
World Wide Web, just bare
yeah.
ass. Oh, okay, child. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what look, what else I have to say is everybody that sees this, like, subscribe, share. I'm starting out on the YouTube. Eventually the platform will go on to the streaming site, Spotify, listening, whatnot. You gotta pay for that. So that's why I'm not there yet. But yeah, like, subscribe, and share. Definitely share the link of the video to your social media outlets. And that's all, again, a part of supporting black business. Like, I'm giving a shout out to the black men every time. Happy Black History Month. That's it. It's a wrap.
Yes.
Share. All right.
All
Talk to
right.
you
Bye,
later.
child.
Okay.
Enjoy
Bye
the
bye.
rest of your day. Love you. Bye.
Yes, love you too. Bye bye.